Welcome to the Michiana Business Podcast, where we put local legends and businesses in the spotlight for everyone in our area to see. If you love small businesses and success stories, then you're in the right place. You're listening to the Michiana Business Podcast with your friends, hosts, and owners of industrial office cleaning right here in Michiana, Caitlin and Alonzo Perdomo.
What about if your client says to you like, I don't think I believe in that. How will you explain to him really this is the way it works? How will you kind of go deeper and explain to him how it exactly works?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And when the technology first came out, I myself was like, what? How is that happening? I'm not a big science buff always, so I think that is a very valid question. And one thing that we do to help people to understand the technology is actually a demonstration with a black light. So what we end up doing is instead of putting the actual chemical through the system, we put a black light serum through the system, and we would take a piece of tape. And let's use that grab bar example, right? We'd put that piece of tape all the way around it, and then we'd go through and we'd spray that, come back, turn off the lights and take off that tape and then do the black light. And you can actually see where that completely wraps around. It's a really nice way to get a visual of how it's actually working and how the technology is working for people to really understand the benefits of it and that it's actually doing, what we're talking about that it's doing.
Yeah, that is it's excellent and simple, because sometimes people out there, they're like, oh, they just want to sell the products, they just wanted more money for my pocket. But when you have a simple like that, like, oh wow, this really works. So it's really good if some people, they want to use that simple, I think they can steal it, right, and show to the clients. And if you don't
I mean, that's true. I never thought about that, but yeah.
Okay, so let's go with fogging. A lot of people is doing also fogging. What is the difference between electrostatic and fogging? How does that differentiate itself? If you can give us a little more knowledge on that, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, I can, obviously there's a lot of details that go into it. So like on a very basic level, when you're going through and you're fogging, you're really releasing a very fine mist out into the air that is then going through and settling down on top of the surfaces that you're spraying on. So some of the main differences between what I just explained about with the electrostatic versus the fogging is the coverage piece, right? Is if we're letting something off and we're spraying it into the air and letting it settle, it doesn't get that same wraparound effect as it does with the electrostatic. So it's settling on the tops of surfaces, but not really. If we think about like a chair, we a lot of times will grab the bottom of a chair to spin right when you sit down. So those are the types of surfaces that fogging doesn't always cover, depending upon how you're doing it. And then on top of that, I would say just the amount of time it takes to have reoccupancy into a room. So again, going through and fogging, you have to have that wait time for it to kind of settle down and sit onto the surfaces. Whereas with electrostatic technology, it really wants to find a spot to sit down, right? It doesn't want to be in the air. It really wants, it's that charge from coming out of the gun that creates that ability for it to go and find a spot to sit, which gives you a lot faster reoccupancy time into a building. So a couple of differences there. I think both have a place in our world and in different industries. It's just finding what one's going to work best for what you're looking for.
Awesome, guys. Do you hear that? The difference of the electrostatic and fogging. I always try to talk about it and they never understand me. Maybe it's my accent.
No. No, it's a hard one.
There you have it, guys. You guys, for a professional that knows a lot more than I and speak the right. So let me ask you this question. What is the difference? Because if, let's say, for example, a cleaning company want to buy a concentrated supply to last longer, can you give us a little feedback, like how is the difference having a supply that's already to go, the price, and also the one that's concentrated that you have to dilute it? Can you give us a little bit of knowledge in there?
So like you said it very well, you have your ready to use products, meaning that the product is already diluted with the proper dilution ratio. So when you get it, you put a trigger sprayer on it or you put it in your mop bucket and you can use it right away. And then we have, like you said, concentrates that are either dispensed manually, like by just pouring them with a gallon, or through dispensing systems that automatically dilute it for you. And what that does is you essentially use your own water, and that allows you to be a little bit more effective in regards to the cost. So you could be using a product that only uses, a 1/2 ounce to 2 ounces, plus per gallon. And it becomes a little bit more cost effective, and a lot of it more cost effective when you're using those super concentrates versus going through with a ready to use. Again, different facilities have different needs. So sometimes people need that quickness. They don't maybe have the right staff to go through and dilute the product out themselves. So that ready to use is nice and comfortable and easy for someone to use. But if you have the right setting and the right situation, the super concentrates and dilution systems can be a really nice way from a labor standpoint and cost effective for the overall for the customer.
Let's say it's me. I'm like, all my facilities, I don't have the system to dilute it. And my people or I just go and pour into a bucket. Do you think that's a good idea or is a very bad idea? And how much money you think is wasting because, I pour it into the bucket, I measure it. It's going to raise up my cost. So it's like, always better they buy the machine, dilute it properly. And versus like, sounds like, let's say the machine costs like $200 or $300. And I said, it's too much for my budget. But they pouring it with the gallon into the bucket. Can you give us a little bit of difference so people like, oh, wow, it's a lot of different, the money that we wasting.
Right. So we call that method the glug method, right? Because I don't know if you've ever had to measure out 1 ounce or 2 ounces, but it's not that much always. So depending upon what you're using, sometimes it's inconsistent even in the bucket or spray bottle that you're using to really know how much to be pouring in. So like you said, a lot of times what we see is people just start to pour in the concentrate and don't measure it, which not only is not cost effective because they're probably overusing the product by a lot from what they really need to be, but it can also cause more of a labor issue because sometimes these chemicals, well, many times the more you use, it's not necessarily the better off it's going to be as a cleaner, right? So you end up with, or sticky floors, things like that. And then the last thing is from just an overall safety of who's using the product. Anytime that you have open chemical and you're pouring things in, there's opportunities for accidents to occur. And obviously the safety of our employees and our customers is important to us. So having something that's more of what we would call a closed system, where the bottles have safety features on them, it's all in a cabinet, that can also be something that's really beneficial versus having something that's open and subject to accidents.
Okay, a lot of things that I run into is like I run into the facilities and I don't talk too bad about anybody. I run in and I see the bottle sprayers with no label. I see the stuff that's sitting there and you don't even know what is that. How can I affect that? Because you have more experience in your side, how it can affect the business with know the proper information in the bottle?
Yeah, that's something huge that we work with on our customers on, because over time, if you have inspections or go through and get evaluated, any of those bottles that are not labeled can become little dollar signs, really. So we've seen at times where someone's gone in and gotten, marked down for unlabeled bottles, and then they get only a warning, but if they come back, there's a certain amount of dollars per bottle that they could be charged. And that really can add up when you think about it, if they have quite a few bottles throughout their facility. So we work with our customers to put together all the secondary labeling, which is pretty extensive, but we provide that at no cost, along with organizing all of the SDS programs for them. So your safety data sheets that are required to have with each chemical that you have in your facility.
Wow. So each bottle that I find with no label, I got to charge some money. No, just kidding.
No, I would say if you find them, then I would work on getting those labeled as soon as possible.
Sure. No, but yeah. I'm just messing around.
No, I mean, and on top of that, there is a safety part of it, right? I mean, yes, the money is important, but God forbid something happened with that chemical and no one knows what's in that bottle or what's in that bucket. It's a safety for your whole facility and any visitor that's coming in.
Awesome. So with this, let me ask this other question. Do you guys have like a package, I can say, let's say like I start my business and I'm like, okay, so I have to dilute this properly. I have to do this and I have to buy this machine. Do you guys have like some kind of package to offer to the customers that walking into your facility and say, hey, I'm looking for this type of diluted. Do you guys have something like that in place to help the business, or I'll let you talk. I'm sorry. I don't even know where I'm going with that point, but you get my question.
Well, I think I understand what you're saying. But I would probably say that the package differs for every single person that comes into our door. So for us to do, some standardized packages is almost like a disservice to the person that's coming in, right? Because we're really trying to be more intimate with what their facility truly needs, what their team looks like. Now, that being said, there are some obvious things for certain industries that are pretty standard. When we go into a facility, we see, X, Y, and Z, or this would be a great way to start. You would want maybe these types of items. And that's really done through our sales consultants and having that dialogue and putting that together for you. So yes, we do have them. I think there's just some more conversation that we like to have to make it a little more specific to your facility.
Awesome. Well, what else did I need to ask you? I forgot all my questions. I'm just kidding. Well, anything else that you want to add up about KSSA?
I would just say that, we're, like you said, we're local. We're very open to anyone who comes in our door. We work with a lot of different types of facilities, any, small mom and pop shops to large industrial, large schools, healthcare facilities. We really cover a wide range. So don't ever feel like, oh, I can't go in there, I don't have a business. We welcome any visitors that come in. And then on top of that, we're always looking to improve. We actually had a theme this year, which is we pick a theme every year within our company. And the theme this year was called offense. And so I would say with that type of mentality, we're always looking for ideas of how we can be more of service to our communities, to our customers, and that offensive theme really has carried through, especially with the year of COVID, in regards to how we're reacting, how we're communicating, the actions that we're taking. So I would just throw it out there that we're open to ideas and willing to kind of come to the table and be creative that way. And then lastly, I just want to give a shout out to my whole team. I mean, it's been a crazy year in regards to our world and trying to help. And I don't think we'd be able to get to where we are without the culture and the people that we have throughout our whole facility, from our front desk to all of our coordinators, our sales consultants, our leadership, our warehouse team, our service teams. All these different pieces really are what make us tick. It's not just one person going out and selling, it's a whole team behind it. So I think just to know that that culture is something that we hope to seep through, and for people to feel that when they come in is something important to us.
That is totally true. If you don't have that culture behind you, the people behind you, the support you have, I don't think we can go anywhere. And the other question that I forgot to ask, and I apologize. What difference is buy locally? Then I can look at it online and order and get it for a outsider company that I don't even have a communication with them. How do you refer that? How do you distinguish what is the difference between those two things?
Touched on it a little bit. I don't want to be too repetitive, but I think it really comes down to that service aspect and giving something a little bit extra towards what they're doing, that extra piece of knowledge, that extra piece of training, that ability to call whenever or ask for help. If you've ever had to strip and refinish a floor, it is not as easy as it looks on that YouTube video, right? It's complicated, dangerous. It causes quite the chaos at times. So take something like that, and it's quite obvious that this world is more complicated in regards to cleaning, and even more so now with COVID. A lot of light is shed upon this group of people and these amazing workers that are going through and cleaning these facilities every day. And I think that appreciation and being able to help them and grow them and have them be successful in their roles. That's the main difference between, you know, going online and then using a local source.
Awesome. I can also say and that's better because you have that connection with the people. You see the people, they show you right there. It's totally different experience. So now with that say, what is your favorite book? This is totally different. It's all about you. So what is your favorite book that you read?
Ooh, that's a good one. I enjoy reading a lot of personal development books, and I just finished up a book called Atomic Habits. So that one was pretty good. I really like any book that's going to help me to grow or learn, think about something in a little different way. Any of those are up on my list.
Nice, nice. Okay, what is your favorite restaurant?
Ooh, that's tough. Okay, that's really hard for me. I would probably say there's a lot of local places that I like, but I guess to go a little more mainstream, my husband and I really are big fans of Chipotle.
Lovely. Awesome.
Yeah, so
Nice.
big that one.
What do you guys like the best in there?
We get the burrito bowls. The burrito bowls every time.
Awesome. So if anybody want to stop there, they can buy because you recommend it, and they might be rich and say, "Hey, this is great, or this is not great."
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. What is your favorite pastime for you?
Favorite pastime? It's probably just spending time with family and friends. Pretty close knit with my family. Being able to be with them is always energizing. Also enjoy heading up north in Michigan and seeing the beauty of the northern land of Michigan.
Oh.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, okay, so anything else you want to? Well, let me ask you this: if you can give three advices to the people that just start this kind of business, or they want to jump into this kind of business, what are things that you recommend to them? Don't do okay, don't.
Ooh, don't do.
That's
hard. I was thinking things that we would be doing. I guess I would say, can I do the three things I would recommend versus not doing? Okay, so I don't want to call anybody out. I would say the three things I would recommend to do if you're saying for someone who's starting a cleaning business in particular?
Yes,
okay. So I would probably say to really have a good understanding of the culture and the vibe that you're wanting to bring into a facility. Get a really good idea of what that looks like and what really is going to differentiate you in walking into a building. Two, I would say learn a lot, understand, what you're using, how it should be used, so that when you go in, all the different solutions and the options that are available, so that you really can become that expert for the building that you're going into, right? You have to be able to show them the value that you bring into the building. Three, I guess I'll just give a shout out to our team to connect with us, so that we can be of help to you and really help you to become that expert and, be that pivotal piece and differentiator in the market when you're heading into a building.
Exactly. That's awesome. Can you throw again up there the website, phone number, and the location that you guys have in the area? So if anybody where can I get the information, so they can just listen and follow through and go there? Yeah.
So again, our website, I was just going to pull it up here, but our website is kssenterprises.com. And then we have locations all throughout Michigan and northern Indiana. So our Indiana location is on Sample Street. It's 208 East Sample Street. And then our phone number for that location is 574-233-7535. And most likely you'll get in touch with Debbie, who is our branch coordinator in there, and she runs the ship there. She's awesome. And then from there, you can obviously get connected with a sales rep if that was wanted as well.
Awesome, guys. So there you have it, guys. You have an awesome company right here in the area, Michiana area, that you guys can walk in and kind of ask questions, whatever you need. They're willing to help you and kind of give you advice how to, what kind of chemicals and what kind of vacuum or anything, because I think they sell vacuums in there as well, right?
Yep, all sorts of equipment, anything from scrubbers and vacuums, electrostatic sprayers, you name it.
The chemicals in there. So if you need any help, guidance, just go to KSSA and they will guide you, hold your hand, what kind of chemicals to buy, and make you comfortable and make you more secure than what you're offering to your clients. So with that said, don't forget to go to Michiana Podcast and sign for to share and support the community in the area and sign in the spot for a day so you can come on to the show and share your story. So don't forget to sign up.
Helping with, please don't hesitate to reach out.
If you're in the Michiana area and would like to have us put your business or story out there for everyone to hear, sign up at michianabusinesspodcast.com. Until next time, thanks for listening.